Hello everybody, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Man City Unplugged, your very own Man City fan channel. It's Carabao Cup quarter-final time. The matches just don't seem to end, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Premier League. Then again, I guess we have FA Cup with Arsenal after that next Friday. In between, we have another Premier League fixture. So the schedule is just rampant, and I've not complained because it's rampant for other top four teams as well, other top five teams as well. But the lineup Pep has picked here is very interesting, I would say. Pep has, in a press conference, told that he'll do something ridiculous for the Derby game, but I know that he's just said it tongue in cheek. But Pep being Pep, he he would have something up his sleeve for the Derby game. I'm pretty sure, but I'm actually surprised with the personal he's picked for the back four today. He's picked Aymeric Laporte for the second game in a row. I actually thought Aymeric Laporte might start for the Manchester Derby game because potentially, if let's be realistic, Ten Hag can't beat Pep Guardiola just playing possession-based football. That is impossible. Good say Ten Hag is a master tactician, this, that, but I'm yet to see someone who can go eyeball to eyeball with Pep Guardiola in terms of possession, cut a dagger through City, beat us in our own press, and go through us and score a goal. People say Liverpool, but no, Liverpool always were. At their best, Liverpool were sort of, quick transitions. They win the ball high up and then they sort of, I won't say counter attack, but they make quick transitions with Mane, Salah, and Firmino. That's what Liverpool were. So I'm yet to see a team or a manager going eyeball to eyeball with Pep Guardiola in terms of position and beating him. So realistically, if Ten Hag has to beat Pep Guardiola, he'll do it playing on counter attack. And let's see who are his twins: Marcus Rashford, Anthony, all of them, probably a Garnacho, maybe. All of them, their strengths are counter attack. Their strengths are not position based football. Rashford is not a player who can thrive in position based football terms. He loves to play on quick transitions. So I actually I thought United will play on the counter attack, and then Pep has bought in Aymeric Laporte because when playing against teams that kind of sit back, I won't say United will part the bus on the Derby day, but for teams that kind of sit back and hit you on the break, he loves to have a left-footed centre back. One is it's one is you can have those diagonals pinned very fast, and the second one is it's easy to pass from the back when you have a left-footed. The entire pitch opens up. You have a left-footed centre back and a right-footed centre back. So that is what Pep Guardiola is generally looks for when he plays against counter-attacking teams. So Laporte is interesting for me. Probably won't pick Laporte for his lack of pace, maybe. But the other two are very interesting. The other two selections that he's made, he's picked Kyle Walker and he's picked Joao Cancelo. He's picked both of them. I'm surprised here because I thought he'll give Walker a rest, and because we need Walker against Marcus Rashford. Let's be clear, we need to put Kyle Walker and Marcus Rashford. He's the only one who can match the pace of Marcus Rashford, unless you want to play Erling Haaland in a left back sort of position. So surprised that Walker is playing here, and I'm even more surprised that Walker is playing in a centre back sort of a position. Is this the experiment which Pep wants to do for the Derby game? I do not know. Playing Walker in the centre back position, but again, it's surprising that he's put Walker there in the centre back position because the way he's made runs from the right back position against Chelsea, the way he assisted Foden for that goal, that was just supreme. The offering wit to Riyad Mahrez and all of those things, why would you put Kyle Walker at centre back? I do not know, especially when you have someone like a Nathan Ake. There are a lot of options. Sergio Gomez, I understand he's giving him a bit of game time. Gomez is yet to settle, but I won't understand another thing. Cancelo, Pep has always been playing Cancelo, especially since the World Cup, in the right back position, on the right sided position, when clearly Cancelo has been in top two, top three left backs in the world in the last 2, 3 years. So why would you try him in the right back position? I do not know. The problem with playing Cancelo in the right back position is, I mean, can Cancelo overlap? Will, I mean, he can obviously overlap, but will Pep give him the duty of overlapping, or will he want to cut inside? Then that will be a problem. The problem we'll face is we don't, maybe not this match, but maybe in the derby and maybe against other teams in the Premier League, we don't have an out and out winger, right? So when Cancelo cuts inside, when Palmer cuts inside, or whoever plays on that side, when Grealish cuts inside, everyone's cutting inside, and things will happen like they happened at Everton, for example. The opposition defense will just defend narrow, and that's it. They'll will not be giving them enough to think actually. So it will be interesting. The instructions of Cancelo. You know what I would want Pep to instruct Cancelo. I would want Pep to tell Cancelo, go on the inside and go on the outside. Cancelo is very well capable of that, going on the outside and delivering crosses, going on the inside like a Walker did and assisting for goals. That would just break havoc among the opposition defense. I was thinking this week, in the past week, especially after losing to Everton, I was constantly thinking our weakness. Brentford kind of exposed it a bit. Everton kind of exposed it a bit. They are parking the bus, defending narrow. That's how we lost to Brentford. That's how we drew with Everton. By the way, Everton one still feels like a loss. So how do you break that? And you want to play Haaland in the team. How do you break that? And you do not have an out and out winger who can keep the width. All you have is a Grealish, a Mahrez, a Palmer, a Bernardo Silva if you want to play him in the wing. How do you break those narrow defenses? I think this might be the answer. I think what Walker did in that Chelsea game might be the answer. Cut inside, go on the outside. Cancelo, cut inside, go on the outside. I probably think that he's playing Cancelo because he wants to try that tactic. Perhaps talking about ridiculous tactics, I think one might be playing Cancelo on the right back position and telling him to cut inside instead of inverting him to the midfield. And another decision might be playing Foden in the midfield actually. That would be surprising to many. Probably a midfield of Rodri, Phil Foden, and Kevin De Bruyne. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes with Rodri, Calvin Phillips, and Kevin De Bruyne, but looking at the injury history and the recovery time for Calvin Phillips, I don't think he'll do that. I think what he'll do is for the derby he'll go with Rodri, De Bruyne, and will be a Bernardo Silva. I think it will be a Foden more than anything else. He's been very good in the midfield. I would be surprised actually if Foden doesn't start in the Manchester derby. Scored a hat trick last time. Foden always does well in Manchester derbies. Instead of wasting him out on the wing, I would actually want Foden to play in the midfield. JSK is here. Hey JSK, how are you? Says Foden in midfield will make look Bellingham and Musiala look average. By the way, I think JSK with Foden playing so much on the wing, most of us seem to forgotten that a bit that he was actually a midfield player from the academy, and he was a brilliant midfield player, especially in the early days when he was looking to break through into the City team. No, Pep played him in various positions, but midfield, he always runs games from the midfield. So Foden in midfield for the Manchester derby will be interesting. I would want Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, and Rodri as my midfield for the derby. And then the front three could be Haaland, Alvarez, and maybe a Riyad Mahrez with Alvarez of the left. What I would want to see today? I would want to see Jack Grealish being aggressive today. Jack Grealish running at people. The match has started, the match is kicked off. Jack Grealish taking on defenders. Jack Grealish not being afraid to shoot. Jack Grealish having the courage to. Cancelo immediately looking to take the ball and cut it in. He's lost it. That sums up Cancelo's form. Quick transition from Southampton. Ortega collects the ball. By the way, JSK, you should be very happy because Ortega is starting for the second game in a row. And whenever Ortega started, I don't think City have conceded a goal. I mean, leave the Community Shield apart, but generally, FA Cup against Chelsea, no goals. There's no goals. Previous round of Carabao Cup, no goals. So I think Ortega has kept two clean sheets in a row in cup competitions for City. Okay, against Liverpool we have conceded, but apart from that, Ortega has done very, very well. JSK says Community Shield. Oh, I just forgot. I'm sorry. Community Shield Ederson was the goalkeeper, right? That just seemed like a long time ago. Community Shield because of the World Cup and stuff. So my goodness, I just forgot. Now I understand why Pep let Liverpool have the Community Shield trophy. Now I understand why Haaland just missed that open goal in the Community Shield trophy. Sympathy from Pep that Liverpool competed in four competitions last season and did not win any of the major ones. City have been a bit reckless on the ball here. Southampton get the ball. It's not started off that well. We have rushed into certain decisions. It all started with Cancelo giving the ball away very fast, quickly. Cancelo's form, what Cancelo will do and what Jack Grealish will do will be the two things we need to keep an eye on today. The best thing that could happen to Grealish could be in the Manchester derby. He just does absolutely well. He absolutely bombards United, absolutely takes on the United defenders and does them. That would be the best return to form for Jack Grealish. JSK says how. By the way, how we stop Marcus Rashford? He's in excellent form. It's the same question everywhere. JSK. That's the question on everyone's lips. How will City stop Marcus Rashford? I guess it will be Kyle Walker and Marcus Rashford. I think you will have to put a player on Marcus Rashford. Though I know that Pep. See, there are two ways of playing this. The easy way could be just to put a Kyle Walker on Marcus Rashford. Ortega needing to pass the ball out from the back. Yes, can just put a player on Marcus Rashford. Or the second thing is, which Pep has done in the past, is you could actually block off the passing lanes to Marcus Rashford. I think the second option is what Pep will look at. I mean, if you observe the first Manchester derby closely, where we thrashed United 6-3, I actually think we never let Jadon Sancho have the ball. We never let Marcus Rashford have the ball. We just suffocated them. We cut off all the oxygen. I actually think that is what Pep will do. It's a Sam Allardyce style. It's the old style of putting a player on Marcus Rashford to stop him. I think Pep will suffocate him of service. That will be the tactical plan. How to suffocate United forward, especially Anthony and Rashford. I would actually love Alvarez to start in that game in the Manchester derby. His pressing is just so good. Against Chelsea in the FA Cup when both Alvarez and Bernardo Silva were pressing Chelsea, it was horrible. Alvarez was suffocating the defense of Chelsea, and Bernardo Silva was starting the press in the midfield, and Chelsea were like out of ideas. They could not do anything. Jack Grealish with the ball. Jack Grealish 1v1. The defenders. Jack could have done better there. Could have done better. I don't know why Jack Grealish went on the outside, but the run was positive from Jack. The run was very good. By the way, his Southampton goalkeeper is he Bazuno, Kevin Bazuno. I don't know. The defensive pairing for the derby would be, I think, it would actually be John Stones and Akanji. That's why he's resting. Akanji will play. I think it will be the intelligence of Akanji versus the sort of pace of Manchester United on their attack. Anthony, Rashford, and the other forward, Garnacho, or someone who plays. I think Akanji will actually lead our back line. People are also talking about how will City cope with Casemiro in the midfield. That's very good press from Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer does well to run away with the ball. Ah, weak shot. It was a very weak shot from Gundogan there. Very weak shot from Gundogan. It was a very weak shot. I probably expected Cole Palmer to take it a bit more wide, and then probably he could have squared it to someone or something like that. But the shot from Gundogan wasn't that good. Southampton with a corner, and Southampton corners are always a threat because James Ward-Prowse is there, and that's very well defended. Ah, that was a chance. It was a chance for Southampton. That was a chance. Ortega does very well over there. That was a chance. That was surely a chance. I think Ortega gets fingertips to it. Ortega has to take it. And actually think before Ortega punched it, the ball went out, but the referee disagrees. So I think Ortega will have to take it again. Sorry, Southampton will have to take it again. Set pieces are something which Pep Guardiola will be concerned about. But the save from Ortega was top class. That ball was nestling in the corner. What a save from Stephen Ortega. It was just wonderful. This time a long free kick, and City defended well. Stephen Ortega does well there to collect it. Excellent piece of goalkeeping from Ortega. I think we need Ortega. Edison isn't saving that. That was a very difficult save. I think Edison would find it difficult to save that. Probably, I think in knockout competitions, Ortega is much more suited than Edison. I know we've had this debate in the past, but Ortega is just proving with his performances. Southampton are aggressively pressing, and we have given the ball away again. We're just not able to play through their press, but the follow up defending is just superb. It's excellent defending by Sergio Gomez. Pep will be unhappy that we are not able to play through the Southampton press, but the recovery is every time you've given the ball away, the recovery is something that will please Pep. It's a long throw in. We have defended the set pieces extremely well. I know we are under the cosh here, and however good a team you might be, in knockout competitions, I think Nottingham Forest have scored a goal, and I actually think that the draw will be at half time, so that will be interesting. But yeah, you might be a very good team, you might be the world's best team, but in knockout competitions, thing is there will be a period where you will be under the cosh. It could be bang at the beginning of the game, it could be right at the end of the game. You need to be prepared for it. So Pep won't be too much concerned, but he would want to regain control. Is Is it in phases like these that we're missing Rodri? He controls the tempo of the game extremely well. Where is Calvin Phillips? Calvin Phillips is almost stucking as a back three. Calvin Phillips gets the ball. I think Calvin Phillips needs to calm down a bit. Every time we've given the ball away, Calvin Phillips is not offered an option for a pass, and also he's one or two times is a bit hurried into his actions. I think that's what you'll have to learn from Rodri. The calmness is what personifies you in that midfield role. That's why when Pep Guardiola famously said, I think a year back or so, that Phil is still not ready to control the tempo of the game. It's not the creative skills that are essential in midfield. It's the intelligence to know when to accelerate the game and when to keep the water still, when to keep the waters calm. I think Calvin Phillips has to learn that. Jack Grealish 1v1. Ikai Gundogan. Very well done. Gundogan again receives the ball. City passed the ball back all the way to Stefan Ortega. And City regained the attack again. City recycle the ball and we start the attack again. And is it Gundogan who loses the ball? Almost. But this is City. City are coming into the fore now, suffocating, applying the brakes on Southampton, slowly pushing them back in their own half. This is the City we know. But what impressed me is the first 7-8 minutes when we were under the cost, 3-4 free kicks, especially with James Ward-Prowse out there, Ortega having to make an excellent save. This almost sums up a potential situation that can happen in a big Champions League game, big Champions League knockout game. So very well done, very well dealt with it. Both the goalkeeper, the defense. I mean, we have defended as a team, but that save from Ortega. Just imagine if that goal went in and Ortega was not successful in pulling that save off. The match would have been different. The rhythm would have been different. City are just not able to find the pass. The pass from defense to midfield is just not on. The pass from defense to midfield is being cut off. The pass from Walker to Calvin Phillips is just not on there. So how do you bypass that? They're using Sergio Gomez as the outlet to bypass that. Literally, if you see Southampton striker is man marking Calvin Phillips. This is a tactic. This is a very old tactic, but you literally see one of Southampton's forward has a job on Kyle Walker. Sorry, has a job on Calvin Phillips. Aymeric Laporte, they're doing a mistake, but interesting match. Tactically, it's intriguing. I think this might be one of the reasons why Sergio Gomez is playing in that left back position. I mean, we have to remember that he's a midfielder, so just to be an outlet, cut inside, invert as well, and help out Calvin Phillips. Good thinking by Pep. Laporte and Walker, interesting combination for me. Again, nothing ball and it's gone out and for a Southampton throw. Pep would have smashed the bottle to the ground actually. Seeing that pass. Unhappy is a small word for Pep. Seeing that crossfield pass going out. Even when you're not conscious, even in your sleep, you make the right pass over there. I don't know, that was a stupid pass, but City win the ball back anyway. Kyle Walker there, and I think the Southampton forward is offside, but not there's no rhythm in the game. 15 minutes gone and there's no rhythm. Southampton would want this game to go to penalties. It's a free kick for Southampton. So Southampton are playing for a nil-nil here, so that's something we have to keep in mind. The onus is on us to break them down. How many free kicks will you go to James Ward-Prowse? This is third or fourth free kick, I think. We need to be careful of giving up so many opportunities to James Ward-Prowse. Again, good defense from Sergio Gomez. 1v1 defending has been excellent. I think twice or thrice has been very, very good. 1v1 defending this match. Gavin Bazunu, two goalkeepers were previously from City. We are just not able to just watch that pass from the defense to the midfield, and it's just not there. Have to go out wide to Sergio Gomez. Is tried to make that, and as soon as I think that pass into the midfield is sort of like a trigger for Southampton. As soon as Walker or Laporte try to make those passes into the midfield, the three of the midfield are just pressing the man on the ball very aggressively. I think there's someone who can get through this press, and it's Jack Grealish. Yeah, he's come inside. He's coming to the midfield. So just get Jack Grealish into the midfield. He can break this press. There are two people actually, Jack Grealish and Bernardo Silva, who can break that press. Look at it. Jack Grealish comes into the midfield for the first time, and he's already got a foul. The Southampton midfielder is almost close to a yellow card. So that's what Jack Grealish can do. Jack Grealish has to come into the midfield today to break down the Southampton press. Gundogan, look at it. Gundogan is almost acting like a second pivot now. He's just sitting in alongside Calvin Phillips in the build-up. Tactically intriguing battle. Very intriguing battle. They're not giving us any time on the ball. Absolutely no time. There's nothing from the right at all for City. There's absolutely nothing from the right. Cole Palmer, Ken Shallow inverting into the midfield. I think he has to invert to outnumber Southampton in the midfield. Jack Grealish, again, Grealish in with a crossing chance, but just think the cross needs to be a bit more special. The cross needs to be a bit more precise. Calvin Phillips receiving the ball and he's played a backward pass. Pep won't be happy with that. Pep will not be happy with that at all. 19 minutes gone and no control. Southampton have been the better team. There's no doubt about it. They have pressed well. The question is how long can they continue pressing like that? Kyle Walker does extremely well to get the ball. He gives the ball back to a Southampton player, but that's well managed. Southampton go back with the ball and recycle it. City just not able to get hold of the ball. It's a tactical puzzle here. It's not that some of the players are. That's a chance for Southampton. That's a chance. That's a chance. I don't know who the forward is, but that's a clear chance. It's just Hit it over. That's a chance. That's a chance. Ortega was in no man's land there. That was a clear chance. I think it's a reflection of Kyle Walker actually. Walker does well. They haven't given the corner, but it was of Walker surely. They're giving no time on the ball for Calvin Phillips. Once you play through that Southampton press, that is when the gaps will start to appear. City have no shots on target, nothing. And it's been 20 minutes. It's very rare that you see opposition team outnumbering Pep Guardiola. Shots on box and shots on target and shots on goal, but he's just not able to play the ball. Look at the press, and that's Palmer. He is considered to be one of the unpressable players at City, so he's done well there, Cole Palmer. But they're hunting in packs of twos and threes. Sergio Gomez there gets the ball. Every time City get the ball, a Southampton player is boom. I think to break this press, you need to play one-touch football. Just get Jack Grealish in there, and that's a wrong pass. That's a miss pass by what Prowse and even me and even I think it's Sergio Gomez who gives it away, and Southampton score a goal. City are 1-0 down here. What the hell? City are 1-0 down. I wouldn't say it's against the run of play because Southampton have played well, but Ward-Prowse had given the ball away previously, and then we have returned the favor to him. So that's what Pep will be annoyed about. Look at it here. Gomez steals the ball and then he gives it away to a Southampton player. That is what will annoy Pep Guardiola. Ortega cannot do anything about it. It is not against the run of play at all. Now, City have a mountain to climb, I would say, against the Southampton team. We have not been at our fluent best. I think Pep will need to, I won't say substitutions, but something has to change. Look at it again. Just not able to play through that midfield. Again, look at it. The pass to Grealish has been cut off. Probably bring on a Haaland, bring on a De Bruyne. There's been no creativity at all. I mean, I know that they are cutting off passes from your defense to the midfield, but we have so many creative players out there. Ilkay Gundogan, Phil Foden. Someone needs to play that one-touch football and get out of the press. That's a foul. City get the free kick. I mean, this also shows the importance of Rodri actually in just controlling the tempo of the game. And it also shows why Pep has been reluctant to use Calvin Phillips as much. I know injury problems and stuff, but generally as well. Romeo Lavia, they're getting a booking. Again, he's from the City Academy, so good to see Romeo Lavia getting some game time. There was a tussle between Laporte and someone, I think, but that's not gonna be a penalty. Come on. We know that Southampton can set shop very well actually, so we need to be careful here and we need to find that goal as quickly as possible. It's just not happening for us today. It's just not happening. Tommy is here. Hey Tommy, how are you? Stefan Ortega there. As expected, I mean, there's nothing he could do for the goal. The goal was a mistake of. Yeah, Tommy, I'm good as well. I'm looking forward to the I mean, I'm actually looking forward to City equalizing here. We played an absolute shit game, and that's the one touch passing I was talking about. But we've given the ball away, and now Southampton go on the break, and Ortega's starting position is very good. There's no rhythm in the game. It's not that we are 1-0 down or 1-0 up, but there's absolutely no rhythm in the game, and it's Jack Grealish is coming on to do something. Ah! They just messed up the chance over there. That was a chance. That was clearly a chance. Ah! And there's the overturn against the counter-attacking team. If you consider, I mean, if you concede those overturn of position like that, you're just going to be punished. That's an another overturn of possession, and that's another goal. Southampton scored two. Southampton scored two. I think the game's gone. Southampton scored two. I won't say the game's gone. Come on, but Southampton scored two. Again, a weak concession of possession straight away to the Southampton player, and City 1894 us. Where are you watching? Please tell them. Actually, the match is not being telecast in anywhere on the TV or somewhere like that. I'm watching on one of the online streams. I just found something online random and I'm just watching it there. That's all. No, I can't actually. I can't actually drop the link there because it's. I don't know if it's in allowed or not, but just go online. You'll find something. There's no bloody rhythm in the game. There's absolutely no rhythm in the game, and it's Phil Ford is going with the ball, and that's very well done, Calvin Phillips. Ethan is here. He says, "Yes, Southampton. Which team do you support, Ethan? You're very You seem very excited, Ethan. Which team do you support? It's 2-0 down, 30 minutes gone. Tommy says, respect City. But we haven't been good in this game. It's the passing has been so sloppy. Both the Southampton goals, we have just given possession away. That's all. They haven't worked hard. I mean, they have worked hard, but it's due to our mistakes that both the goals have gone. But can we come back? Southampton get the ball again. The pressing, the shape, the system has been absolutely good. They're holding the width well. Tommy says, I support Chelsea, but City second favorite. That's nice. That's nice to hear, Tommy. And Chelsea is going through a bad time as well. So new manager that happens, and I'm actually a great fan of Graham Potter. He will eventually make it work out. We need to score at least one before the break. This experiment of playing Kyle Walker at centre back is certainly not working. Not his fault that both the goals have gone. Both the goals have been conceded from the end of Laporte, so from the side of Laporte. So not Kyle Walker's fault at all, but it's just that the balance has not been there, passing wise, understanding wise between the centre backs. Look at this. We have played at least three or four short passes all day. Passes that didn't find the men, incomplete passes. When is that the last time you've seen in a Pep Guardiola team? Something's not right. He'll just give rollicking, but we need that one goal before we go into the break. Jack Grealish, Chelsea not playing the best. Yes, Chelsea is not playing the best, and it happens. It's normal. New manager comes in, he brings with him new ideas, new tactics. It takes time to adjust. A lot of problems at Chelsea, but just give Graham Potter time and he'll do the needful for sure. The question here is, can we make a comeback? Actually seems, I mean, nothing is impossible, but knockout competition, you just need to keep your nerve, and there are no shots on target. That is my problem here. We have not been testing the opposition goalkeeper at all. Last five games when trailing by two goals. We won two, we drew two, and there's one defeat in there. So can't read much into that uh, tactic, but we need to get a goal before half time. That is the first objective. Oh, that is wonderfully done by Jack Grealish. And it's a corner. Grealish should have done better over there. Grealish had just left his opposition counterpart in the mud. It is just gone. But he should have done well with his final action, probably. Jack Grealish with the corner. That's a stupid corner. That's one of shittiest corners I've seen. It's a throw in for City. One goal down was difficult enough against the team that passed the bus, but two goals, that too away from home, seems to be a difficult task. You're just not able to take the ball from Southampton, and now look at it. Southampton are playing negative football, so we have our task cut out. Will be an intriguing 50-60 minutes from here on. Cancelo has been ineffective today. He's done nothing. My God, so close to conceding another goal. That's a good ball over the top, but not enough. Where is Julian Alvarez? I just do not know. I think second half there'll be changes again, like there were changes against Chelsea in the Premier League. Gavin Bazunu, almost that's a good press. City are just not able to keep hold of the ball. That was almost an excellent ball from Sergio Gomez. Just that he couldn't complete the pass. What a shame. Just shows how much we're missing Akanji. Jack Grealish again. Romeo Lavia, superb running with the ball. We're just not able to get hold of the midfield. I think Bernardo Silva needs to come in there. Calvin Phillips is just not able to do anything in the midfield today. Just getting out, run and run and run in the midfield. Sergio Gomez does well there. Sergio Gomez has been very good in all of his 1v1 duels. Aymeric Laporte, Stefan Ortega. Very good pass by Stefan Ortega. Julian Alvarez. Calvin Phillips, a heavy touch, but he does well. Just put a ball in, Joao. We're just not putting any balls in. Need to get at least one goal back before the break. Cole Palmer gives the ball away, but Walker's there. He sends it back to Ortega. Unbelievable that we haven't tested Bazunu even once, and it's becoming a regular statistic that we are having halves of football like against Everton. The second half was just stupid. Here, the first half, we are not present in the game anywhere. So we are having these halves, especially after the World Cup against Brentford. The second half was absolutely nonsense. It was a joke. Against Crystal Palace, the first half was a joke. So against Chelsea, the first half was a joke. So it's becoming a periodic occurrence, a regular occurrence. It's a City throw in, but 41 minutes gone. And it's a Southampton throw. The throw in was wrong by Sergio Gomez. Sums up the day. The throw in by Sergio Gomez sums up the day. Two goals down. Real Madrid were two goals down. Thrice in the Champions League, in the knockout round. So it's not that it is not possible, but it's a City free kick now. Calvin Phillips has absolutely been rendered like almost he doesn't exist. He's almost rendered like an illusion in the midfield. Calvin Phillips has not done anything. We have been lacking the sort of control that Rodri gives. That's the only thing I would say. Calvin Phillips has been completely nullified in this game. If you need to change the game, whom do you bring in? Probably a Rico Lewis. That's a foul. It's a it's a free kick, and off we give it back to Stefan Ortega. And Southampton get the ball back again on a turnover almost. We've just not been ourselves in this half. That wrong throw in by Sergio Gomez just sums up the entire half. Ah, Jack Grealish. He's done well there, Jack Grealish actually. That's a good cross in by Sergio Gomez, but and look at the tenacity of the Southampton press. You need a Bernardo Silva in there. This is what Pep says. By Phil Foden cannot control the tempo of the game. Look at that again in the midfield. It's just been a Disappointing half of football. I think the worst half of football City have played in the season. This is worse than Chelsea. Not because we are 2 nil down, but because there's been absolutely no chemistry. There's been absolutely no nothing. Just been very, very bad. And 30 seconds more to go till the end of the half. He Pep has to make changes in the second half. There's no way that he's letting the same group of players come out. 5 more seconds, so that will be it. That will be that. That will be the half. A half of football in which we were not able to play through the midfield. A half of football in which we were not able to string two passes together. We're not able to string two passes together. And Romeo Lavia just displayed superbly well. He dominated the midfield over Calvin Phillips. That tells you a lot. Player whom we could have kept for free. He dominated the midfield over player whom we spent 40-50 million. But anyway, that's not the question. The question is, some of the player performances have not been good. I would say one Calvin Phillips has been nullified. Aymeric Laporte has looked a bit here and there. Cancelo started it all off by giving the ball away. Cancelo was not good at all. So a couple of players who were not good. But for me, the main thing here is the players look confused. How many times did Julian Alvarez touch the ball inside the box? Once or twice? The entire match, how many times he touched the ball? Not more than 10 times, I would say. In the final third. Therein lies the problem. The problem is Walker to Phillips, Laporte to Phillips. There's no connection over there. You can't simply Romeo Lavia is man marking Calvin Phillips in a way that the connection is cut off. And then what they're doing is they're forcing City to go wide. Go wide, either you pass to Gomez, you pass to Cancelo. And they're just pressing Gomez and they're just pressing Cancelo once they get the ball. So it's almost clearly visible what the Southampton players have to do. So there's no element of surprise there. So Pep needs to mix that up a bit. Pep tried to counter that by bringing Cancelo in, but Cancelo is not. Cancelo is very technical, but he's not your safe as houses player on the ball. Cancelo is not someone whom you would want when the opposition is like pressing you like crazy, man marking you like crazy. He loses the ball sometimes in those occasions. Most of the times, you need a Bernardo Silva, you need a Rico Lewis, you need people of that ilk. Maybe a Kevin De Bruyne as well. You need people of that ilk. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if KDB and Haaland come on in the second half straight away, straight from Rico Lewis. I don't know if Riyad Mahrez is actually in the match the squad or not. He's not, I think. But KDB and Rico Lewis and I mean KDB, Haaland and Rico Lewis will come on for sure. I think the substitutions could be very similar to what happened in that Chelsea game. He removed Walker Cancelo, brought on Rico Lewis Akanji. The game changed. I think the substitutions could be on similar lines. Probably he won't remove Walker this time. I mean, he will remove Cancelo. He might put Walker out wide, and then probably he brings a centre half on, and also he brings uh, Kevin De Bruyne and Rico Lewis as well. So, I mean, there should be some change of game plan from Pep Guardiola. Kumar's way to watch the match. The match is actually not available anywhere. It's like I had just gone. I thought it will be on City Plus, but it's not there on City Plus. So I just went online and I just got into a random link. That's all. Bayaji says this season, every time City come up against a team at its worst, they surprisingly struggle. That is, Brentford had no away win until City, then Everton same, and tonight Southampton bottom at the bottom of the table. Surprised Bayaji, surprised that how City handled this from the outset. First of all, I mean, we gave away. I mean, how did the first goal come? The first goal came from our mistake. The first goal came when a crossfield pass by, is it Calvin Phillips? Crossfield pass was not completed, and a Southampton player took it, and then he passed it to the striker, and the striker scored. So I mean, and the worrying thing is all of these things, all of these half of football matches tend to repeat. The half against Everton was so poor, the second half. Now the first half here is so poor. The first half against Chelsea was so poor. The first half against Crystal Palace was so poor. The second half against Brentford was so poor. So, so a lot of things. Uh, I don't know why we are having such a repetition of kind of these halves where we just, it's almost like where you just shut the door and you go into a shell. It will be difficult if we have halves like these against someone like a Leipzig in the Champions League, for example. Such a half of football can knock you out of a Champions League. We need to be very careful. Knockout competitions. And if you see the goal back which they are showing, actually it was Walker's mistake. You see the forward gets across Walker. If someone was a, I mean, not real centre back, but if someone was actually, if an Ake was there or an Akanji was there, he would have known where the centre back, where the forward would have come from, and he would have covered the angle better, I think. So Walker playing out of position hasn't helped, giving the ball away. But what worries me here is the tactical puzzle a bit. I think Southampton are actually playing a diamond here. I think it's Yanepo who just curls it in from a long range. You actually can't do anything for the second goal. It was just a wonder strike. But I think Southampton are playing a midfield diamond and we're just not able to match it. It's as simple as that. Every time we want to pass through the midfield and it's just not happening. The introduction of Rico Lewis is inevitable. That's what it looks like. The attack is looking absolutely toothless. I think it is in moments like these that we actually need Erling Haaland probably. Three players, like I've said, Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, and Rico Lewis. I think those are the three players who need to come on in this half. The last time we went out in a Carabao Cup like this, from a team that, against a team that was actually struggling, was, I remember, I think in 2015, uh, under Manuel Pellegrini, we went out to Newcastle United, I think 1-0 or 2-0. After that, okay, Jose Mourinho defeated Pep in his first season, but United wasn't struggling then. United was sort of playing well at that time, and against West Ham last year, we went out on penalty shootout. That is, you can't do much about it. Penalties can go either way. So, my worry here is not of getting dumped out of the Carabao Cup. My worry here is not about uh, conceding two goals in the first half. My worry is there's a pattern I'm seeing. There's a pattern of us shutting shops for an entire 45 minutes, and then we come back into games in the next 45. Hopefully, we do here due to the brilliance of De Bruyne, the brilliance of Haaland, and things like that. You don't have to go far away to remember how it feels to be like 2-0 down. Aston Villa against Man City against Aston Villa, the last day of the title. West Ham, penultimate match. West Ham against Man City, 2-0 down in the first half. So we have been here. Crystal Palace, 2-0 down. So we have been here. We have been here multiple times. So my worry is how we are approaching those games. That's all. My worry is not about can we make a comeback or not. we will go firing on all cylinders. That much I know. Bayaji says, Bayaji says Phillips looks so lazy out there. 37-year-old Fernandino had more energy. Bayaji, I think one of the problems with Calvin Phillips was Southampton was playing a midfield diamond, and the striker of Southampton was actually man marking, or someone across the forward line of Southampton was always almost man marking Calvin Phillips. And sometimes when Romeo Lavia is coming from the back onto Calvin Phillips, preventing the pass from the centre back. Actually, this is an old tactic, but and the problem with Calvin Phillips, what I've seen is when that happens, potentially a Rodri has such low center of gravity. He keeps the ball very well, so Rodri can just outturn him and then pass the ball forward. I don't think Calvin Phillips is actually having the confidence to take the ball, turn with the ball, and outdo the man and then pass it forward. I think if Rodri would have been here, Southampton would be 3-0 down by now. The press of Southampton would be broken. It's just an old tactic where I remember Nuno Espirito Santos, Wolves, when Wolves played against City in the Carabao Cup 2017 season, I think. That was the first time I saw this tactic being used, the Centurion season. Nuno Espirito Santos had their forward man marking Fernandino, and Pep even referred to it at the end of the season after we got 100 points. He actually said that that is a tactic we need to work out, and then after that, no one dared to use that tactic against City. We worked it out very well. So this will be interesting. This half will be very interesting what Pep does. And Cancelo, and what has happened to Cancelo actually? He just looks like he's a shadow of himself, out of confidence. He's just not able to get two passes together, Cancelo. And also, it's games like these that actually shows the importance of an out and out winger. So, I think people tend to forget as well that even we are going through a bit of a transition with Haaland coming in, with new players coming in, sort of settling into the squad. Pep trying out new tactics, Pep trying out some new attacking structures to suit Erling Haaland. So it might not seem to the outside, but we are internally going through a transition. The beauty about City is we go through transitions and people just and you don't even just know it. That's how smooth it is. But with Erling Haaland, I do think sometimes it's a bit confusing. Actually, it seems a bit confusing for players out there on what to do. And and else and like I was saying, I think we are actually going through a bit of a transition as well in terms of the tactics that Pep wants to use, because once you play with a striker, once you play without a striker, it is not as straightforward as it seems, actually adjusting from a Haaland to an Alvarez to a Haaland. I know last season we played false nine, but still, when a striker comes and the entire team prepares before the season, pre-season, and after that as well, for the striker, and suddenly in some cup games you want to play without a striker, I think it does take time to adjust to both the styles of play. Bayaji says Cancelo, Ford, and Palmer all couldn't string two passes together. Not sure if Alvarez even touched the ball. He hasn't, Bayaji. Inside the box, he counted, he touched the ball once. And outside the box, he must have touched the ball 4 or 5 times in 45 minutes. Which is just stupid. Which is just not acceptable at all. And also, Foden's display in the midfield here also asks you the question, is Foden ready to play in the midfield for City? It's good to see Kevin De Bruyne warming up ferociously there. Pep Guardiola was thinking seriously about some tactics there on the touchline. He will throw everything at Southampton in this half. If we go out fighting in this half. That's the only thing I would say. We go out of a knockout competition, we go out fighting. Never again will we go out like we did against Real Madrid. No. We go out fighting. So nothing to be afraid of. But yeah, seeing Foden play in the midfield, it reminds you of what Pep once said a year ago, that He was asked a question, why don't you play Foden in the midfield? And Pep said he's not ready. He cannot control the tempo of the game, as well as the Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Gundogan. I think today's game for Foden showed why Pep said that. And it's interesting that Pep has been playing Foden. Oh, De Bruyne has come on. De Bruyne has come on. There have been three substitutions, guys. Gomez off, Ake on. Palmer off, De Bruyne on. Walker off, Akanji on. The crisis man here is not De Bruyne. The crisis man here has to be Manuel Akanji. Whenever Pep wants to change something, first thing he does is he brings on Manuel Akanji. What is the shape now? I'm intrigued about the shape. I know why he didn't start Akanji. He wanted Akanji to start in the Manchester derby, but again, to put out fires, you need Manuel Akanji. It's a Southampton throw. What is the shape here? It's Callan Phillips, De Bruyne, Foden. Straight away, ball to. Ah! Is it a goal? I don't know. This bloody thing is just got stuck. Ah! Hit the post. Hit the bloody post. Hit the bloody post. Ah, Julian, we needed that to go in. What a start that would have been. Look at it straight away the impact. Straight away, Julian Alvarez breaking the offside trap. And hit the post. Unlucky. Hit the post. This is what Kevin De Bruyne can do. Hit the post. Hit the bloody post. Look at the passing. Look at the movement now. So much quicker. It's so much good. So much better. Nathan Ake. Foden's now playing on the wing actually. Jack Grealish, just he just couldn't get there. Jack Grealish just couldn't get there. This is City's best front three combination. I mean, of course, Haaland figures, but if there's no Haaland, Alvarez and Grealish and Foden on either side, this is this has to be City's best wing combination. I would say Foden Grealish. I mean, the, this is the best combination of City's wingers. Could be Mahrez instead of Grealish, but one winger who's direct like a Foden. And who the hell is that? Who was given the ball away over there? Very good defending there. That is what Kyle Walker missed. City are just running rampant, like I said. City are all over Southampton now. If that goal would have gone in from Alvarez early on, it would have been a different half. It surely have been a different half. The game is now much more end to end. Come on, guys, if you have to go down, let's go down fighting. The Alvarez strike was just Southampton are having the ball now, but that's Cancelo as well there to defend against a non-rushing James Ward-Prowse, and the passing, the movement. Look at it now. Southampton are not able to do that tactically because Kevin De Bruyne is there and is much more faster. That pass would have gone in Foden's through there. Southampton get the ball again, and Stephen just bring the ball back. It's 50 minutes almost, 40 more minutes. Nothing Ake. The no options and he's played it back. Pradeep says, "Where are you watching the game, bro? I just got a link online. That's all. It's actually not there on any TV app or something." De Bruyne gets it. What a pass from Laporte. Calvin Phillips. Calvin at least make one good pass in the game. De Bruyne. Gundogan just delayed it. Again, frustration. 6 minutes gone and we've just had one shot on target in the entire half. We just need to be tearing Southampton down. Attack after attack after attack. It needs to be relentless. It needs to be the city that suffocates opponents. It needs to be the city that makes opponents lose all hope and survival. That is the city which we want to see now. Knockout competition on the brink of elimination. Tear the bloody thing down. Attack as if there's no tomorrow. Why the hell is Jack Grealish playing it back? Nathan Ake on the ball. Just need to get a goal before the 60th minute. Otherwise, it will be difficult. City are controlling the game like they actually can. Calvin Phillips, Jack Grealish, Kai Gundogan. Ah, they're appealing for handball and the ref does not want to give anything. City are just increasing the tempo of the game. The passing is crisper. If only we played like this before the two goals went in. The first half was a disaster. Nathan Ake. I think the introduction of Erling Haaland seems imminent. Ah, that was close, but just not enough. We need to get Erling Haaland in. It's for crosses like these that Haaland needs to come in just to mix it up. Probably Haaland in place of a Gundogan. A Southampton player is down, of course he'll be down. The Southampton player is taking all his time. He will. His team is 2-0 up. He will. There are a lot of discussions happening. I think there'll be a change from a Southampton point of view, but the clock is just ticking on. That's my worry. Erling Haaland's coming on. Pep is wasting no time. Erling Haaland's coming on. This is it. Erling Haaland's coming on. This is it. But I hope that Julian Alvarez is not the one who's coming off. I really hope. I hope it's yes, it's Jack Grealish who's coming off. This will be interesting. I know why he's not removed Gundogan on because Gundogan can make those late runs. There's another Southampton player who's come on. The point is 34 minutes, probably 37 minutes for Erling Haaland. Yeah, Nepo is the one. I think he's the one who scored the goal. That long range effort is going off. Erling Haaland coming on. Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, Phil Foden, the front three which all of our fan base craved to see, the front three which we all wanted to see, and that front three is here now. High probability trading is bro. On which app or website are you watching? Total Sport Tech. That's the name of the website. The pass is almost, has almost reached the Julian Alvarez there. Bazunu taking his time. Forest and Wolves, and I think Wolves have equalized. It's a Southampton throw in. Nothing. No, it's a City throw in actually. It's a Southampton throw in. Nothing's going our way. Nothing's going our way. The clock is also ticking down fast. Southampton are now just playing long balls. Ortega. Natanake. Ikai Gundogan. He is not been that good today, but Gundogan gets the ball back, and that's a good pass from Gundogan to Manuela Kenji. And Southampton get the ball back. A break is on, break is on, break is on, break is on, break is on. Nothing. Nathan Ake does extremely well to catch up with that pacey Southampton forward. Ake does extremely well. City cannot concede the third here. If we concede the third, the game's up. It's a Southampton throw. Can shallow there. Couple of City players not having a good game. It's Romeo Lavia who's down now. There'll obviously be no rhythm in this half. Will surely be no rhythm. Southampton will cut down the rhythm. It's another Southampton player who's coming on. I think it's Romeo Lavia who's going off. 60 minutes gone. Already 15 minutes of this half gone. No, there's been a lot of stoppages, but can't do anything about it. I think if we get one goal, then I think we are right back in it. The next goal will be crucial. If Southampton score the next goal, it's goodbye from this competition. Rodri is coming on. Pep is not leaving any stone unturned. Slowly bringing on City's first team. They're just not able to get the ball here. That too against a team that is sitting at the bottom of the Premier League table. This is unbelievable. Natanake. Natanake. Aymeric Laporte. Natanake. Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne. Nothing going in favor of City. I think a 1-0, if we were down 1-0, it would have been a bit more easier, but 2-0. Again, a Southampton throw. Everything going Southampton play. Everything going in the favor of Southampton now. Absolutely no rhythm for us. The ref is just giving everything in favor of Southampton now. Everything. This was a City throw for sure. I think one goal can change it, but we need to get the goal fast. We need to get Haaland involved in the game very fast. Ah, you're just not able to get hold of the ball over there. Natanake does extremely well there again. KDB giving the ball away now. This is unbelievable. This is absolutely unbelievable. You're just not able to pass the ball out from the back. This has to be one of the worst games. Stefan, just get the ball out fast. Probably think he'll bring in Rico Lewis as well, just to keep the ball better. Yes, it's a city throw now. I wouldn't have been surprised if the ref showed flag like that in the other direction. Ah, gain! It's a free kick for Southampton. Cancelo has been useless today, I must say. 24 minutes to go. I mean, never say never. But I was expecting us to tear it up in this half. The first 5 6 minutes were absolutely fantastic. After that, it's sort of been nothing. And James Ward-Prowse with the free kick. And City get the ball out. Southampton players are now doubling up on everybody. Just no space. I think Kevin De Bruyne now. This last 24 minutes has to be absolutely unplayable if we have to get something from this. Natanake, Kevin De Bruyne. That was actually close, but Erling Haaland tried something outrageous over there. Have to give Haaland two chances. Can't we create two chances for him in the last 20 minutes? Only two chances. I won't say we'll notice the pedigree of Haaland in this match, but notice if suppose in a Champions League match you're stuck in this kind of a situation, what can you do with Haaland? We'll get a glimpse of all of those things. It's going to be an exciting last 20 odd minutes. Again, giving the ball away. What the hell? It had to be Joe Cancelo. Nothing. Get tight, nothing. And it's Southampton throw, but it's defended well. The clock is against us. And does Pep have one more? Is substitution left? Still, is there a substitution left? I do not know, but probably this game is crying out for a Rico Lewis. Ah! Erling Haaland just couldn't get there. Haaland just couldn't get there. Ah, that was such a quick transition from City. This is City at their absolute best. De Bruyne does extremely well. It's just away from Haaland. Two chances like that for Haaland. That's what we need. Just the goalkeeper gets there first. It's a City free kick. Natanake. It was the same situation in the Aston Villa match. Title was on the line there. Much greater than this. Thousand times greater than this trophy, but this is when the comeback of 3 goals came. But at the time, we had an important element. We had a fast pacing winger in Raheem Sterling then. It's a free kick to City. Now the decisions are slowly starting to go in our favor. Natanake, Jack Grealish, and he's offside. Cancelo was offside. Sums up the day for Joao Cancelo. Clock is ticking down. That is my worry. It's their home stadium and they're not even giving us the ball in the correct way to throw. So Natanake does well there. That's a free kick in favor of City. Natanake. Natanake. Ikai Gundogan just shift the ball. Ikai Gundogan, Laporte, Gundogan have to score at least a goal before the 80th minute, or else it's going to be absolutely very difficult. Aymeric Laporte, City is suffocating Southampton now. Akanji back to Ortega. Laporte, there's no way. Pass. Maybe I think De Bruyne has to go back into the wide regions and ping those crosses in. That might just be the way. Nathan Ake. Ake. It's a City throw in. Cancelo's just been useless. If you just look at the stats of the most Cancelo's percentage of completed passes, I don't think there'll be more than 10%. They are not able to high probability trading says they are not able to break the deadlock of Southampton. It's just that we're not able to put enough balls into those areas for Haaland and Alvarez to attack. It's it's just been about us playing into their midfield and they're getting hold of the ball. We're not able to connect midfield with the strikers. Foden has the ball and Southampton come on a counter attack. City get the ball back. Keep the bloody ball. I don't know why. Haaland is through. Erling! The keeper was quicker than him. Ah, Southampton get the ball. For God's sake, get back and defend. Nathan! 1v1, 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 Nathan, 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 Nathan. He's offside. Thank God he's offside. I need to get Phillips out and Mahrez in. I don't think Mahrez is in the matchday squad actually. I think he's saving Mahrez for the Manchester derby. Ah! Alvarez. Ah! That is an excellent piece of play if you see there. 1, 2 and Julian Alvarez just couldn't get there. Ikai Gundogan breaking through and Alvarez just couldn't apply the finishing touch there. If only that fell to Erling Haaland. But Alvarez is as good a finisher as Haaland. That's a foul. It's a free kick in Kevin De Bruyne's range, and this free kick needs to go in if he has have to get something from the game. This free kick needs to absolutely go in. It's shooting range for Kevin De Bruyne. If we get a goal here, it will be a barnstorming finish. Okay, he's in the substitutes list. Okay, maybe I didn't check it. Get him or get Bernardo. I think he's saving the legs of both for the Manchester derby, so I don't think he'll get him in. But probably 86th minute, 87th minute, probably he'll get him in. It's Kevin De Bruyne range. It's the free kick. I don't think it's shooting range. It's too far out for shooting, but that's well defended by Southampton. Joaquin Shallow. How many times will you give the ball away? Cancelo has just been. What is it on Joaquin Shallow? It's a slap. It's on Julian Alvarez actually. It's a slap. It's a clear slap. There's not even a card given for that. No, but anyway, we can argue about that later. It's time to get on with the game. Stupid pass from Phil Foden. Ikai Gundogan. Phil Foden. Gundogan. Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne. Ha! If only Ake could cross. Cancelo is playing absolutely. Cancelo is playing so bad from the last. I mean, even before the World Cup, also his form slightly dipped. This season Cancelo has not been good at all. The Liverpool game, it's because of his mistake we lost all the 3 points. Just add those 3 points, and now we are just 2 points behind Arsenal, which is nothing. It's the 81st minute, 82nd minute. Never say never after watching what Real Madrid did in the Champions League last season. To all the teams, not as Liverpool, PSG, not Liverpool, sorry, Chelsea, PSG, us. So never say never. 8 more minutes. Just get the bloody ball to Haaland. Give Haaland a chance. That's the only thing I would say. We have defended extremely well in this half. Like I was saying earlier, we ourselves are going through a bit of transition this season. Transition in terms of new attacking structures for Erling Haaland, transition away from the false nine position. So probably with inverted fullbacks coming in, you see new tactics, new attacking structures, and the passes again not on the mark, and City get a throw in. 10 more minutes, I think, along with extra time. Liverpool would have hoped this was the fixture at the end of the last season instead of Aston Villa. Natanake, Stephen Ortega. True, we still might cover a Arsenal game. We need to win anyhow. I mean, even if we get knocked out of this competition, the thing is, in a way, it might not be that bad, especially in a season where the fixture list is huge. So it suddenly then would mean 3 games less for us, 2 semi-final games and 1 final game, and we'll almost be on par with Arsenal's fixture list. Pep's experiment a lot when he plays in the midweek. He experiments even in the Champions League final, right? 2020. Pep is all about experimentation. It's ended 1-1, I think, at the Wolves Nottingham Forest game. So Pep is all about experimentation. It's that madness. I probably think it's that madness that makes him the genius he is. It's that ability to take the risks. I know it doesn't come off often, but if you want Pep, I think you must accept his madness also. Anyway, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. I mean, it's not that we're getting knocked out of this competition. I don't know what is happening with the throw-ins. Sergio Gomez was charged with a foul throw-in. Now Cancelo is being charged. I think Pep should have played Bernardo. They're showing City's next 7 fixtures: United, Tottenham, Wolves, Arsenal, Tottenham, Aston Villa, Arsenal. It's going to be a hellish run of fixtures. I think if you ask me the priority list of trophies for City, Pep would say Champions League, Premier League right up there. One, two, you can number them whatever you want. And then third is the FA Cup, and the fourth, the final one is the Carabao Cup. So if there was a competition in which Pep would have been okay with getting knocked out, I think this is the one, probably. But the only thing is we defeated Chelsea, Liverpool, and then we go on and lose to bloody Southampton. Sometimes probably destiny is like that. Can't do anything. Kevin De Bruyne passes it out wide to Joao Cancelo. Haaland can't connect with that. You probably needed that to go into have any hopes of a comeback when at this point, but that was a good try from Haaland. Yes, we will get knocked out, but Reds will win, which is something I didn't want it. No, but there is still Newcastle there, so there are stronger teams out there. And another thing is, United will be up for the top four race. It will not be that easy to this season, especially because of the World Cup fixtures. I mean, especially because of the World Cup and stuff, players will be tired as the tournament goes through. So teams will have to prioritize one competition or the other. So it happens. And Southampton player is through 1v1. I think no Ake can get. So there was a stat. Alex Ferguson won the EFL Cup 4 times. Brian Clough won it 4 times, and Pep Guardiola has already won it 4 times. So if Pep did win this, it would have been a record. So now you can see how many times you won the Carabao Cup. I think from 2017 to 21, we were continuous Carabao Cup holders. So it's actually fine. But 89th minute, can the magic start? Can the magic start now? 89th minute. If it was one goal, it would have been different. That's the thing. If only Cancelo knew how to pass in this match. And it's a free kick for Southampton. Ward-Prowse wins the free kick, and I think that should be that probably how much extra time will he add? Wow, 6 minutes of extra time. This makes it even more painful. If only that Alvarez goal went in. Pep Guardiola's managerial record: quarterfinals in domestic cup competitions. He has played 15, won 15. He has lost 0. Everything is a first time Pep. Nothing again, nothing, nothing, nothing. That's a City throw. I know Southampton players are doing all those tactics, but I think Southampton are odds on to go down. So they can very well do those tactics in the championship from next season. Southampton are keeping the ball. Oh, it's already 1 minute up. This was actually a difficult game because I think Southampton have had yes, still loss hurts. It's okay. Let's go for Premier League and Champions League at least. FA Cup we'll face Arsenal next, another tough one. I think this season we have to take into account that it's also the fact that 16 of City's players have gone to World Cup, and I think none of Southampton's players have played in the World Cup. So probably one, I don't know, but I think none of Southampton's players have played in the World Cup. So I think that makes it a bit uneven, the amount of minutes the players are playing and stuff like that. So I think this season we'll have to treat it a little bit special and different from other seasons. And on top of it, we are still learning to play with Erling Haaland. It's a transition that is still going on. It's almost like in Pep's first season where we struggled a bit with possession. We lost to Leicester 4-0. We lost to Everton 4-0. Remember? And people were thinking that it's gone, everything's gone. City are useless. And then what happened the next 4 years? Four Premier League trophies in 5 years. So I think this season, I wouldn't say just give it as an off or something, but you can already see that bit of tiredness and stuff. Tiredness in the minutes of players. Rodri, for example, that pass against Everton, which he would never give in a million years. For Damari Gray to go on. So losses happen, but if we had to get out of one domestic trophy, then I think this is the one. Now this events our fixture list a bit, which is already congested. Is the game done? I don't know. My bloody video has been stuck for ages. Yes. Southampton are now keeping the ball. The corner. And it's still a Southampton throw. No, it's a Southampton corner actually. James Ward-Prowse to take it. With striker, it's better, but City used to have more players in the box till last year. Don't you feel City is more vulnerable this year? Yes, I feel City is vulnerable this year, but that is because we are still learning how to play with Haaland as a striker. We are still learning. When there was a false nine, the false nine would drop into the midfield, which means you would have an extra player on the midfield and stuff like that. Now, with Erling Haaland up there, you suddenly don't have that extra player in the midfield, which means you're actually a bit more vulnerable on the counter attacks and stuff like that. You're not able to overload the midfield, so your passing has to be a little bit more quicker. So I mean, there are many structural aspects in there, and I think that is the reason why Pep is actually playing Rico Lewis up there in the middle, just to, I mean, Rico Lewis inverting, just to counteract that, not having a false nine in the midfield. Now you have a fullback coming to the midfield, so to balance the numbers out there. So Pep is experimenting with a lot of attacking structures. Foden in the midfield is another experimentation, so that he can have Grealish, Mahrez, Grealish, Palmer, or probably you bring in a Rafi Liao to the wing. So Pep is experimenting quite a few things to see actually how does Haaland best fit into this formation. It could have been very easy for Pep to just say 4-3-3 and stuff like that, put Haaland in the front, but Pep is not like that. I think if as City fans you can show patience for this 1 year, I would not say we are out of everything and stuff. We are still competing for the Premier League title, we have the Champions League, but Southampton are going for the attack. And that's it. City bow out of the Carabao Cup, a cup which we have held 2017 to 2000. I think Pep has held it 4 times, and 2017 to 21, I think 4 times. And then Pellegrini, we have won it once, I think. Under Mancini, did we win it? I don't know. So in the last decade, we have won this cup 6 times, so that's fine. It's not a trophy that is eluded us actually. It's not a trophy that we're like craving for. We've had a lot of success in this trophy, so that's fine. Yeah, but like I was telling, around Haaland, Pep is building something. Foden in the midfield, Foden on the wing. How does it suit him best? Grealish out wide, or Grealish, where does it suit Haaland best to play Jack Grealish? And also not having an out and out winger means suddenly there's no width. Suddenly you have a Jack Grealish coming in. Suddenly you have a Mahrez coming in, for example. So it's all coming diverging inside, which means there is defenses are easily able to defend narrow. See this match, for example, what did we lack? We lacked a genuine winger who could burst from out to in. Grealish is not like that. Grealish is an inside forward. Palmer is an inside forward. So we are actually going through a transition. But the fact that City manage transitions in a way which they seem that a transition is not happening at all. Like Dino Rodri, did you even notice? No, we did the transition by winning Premier League titles. So how we have transitioned from Aguero, how we have transitioned from Leroy Sané. So I actually think the transition is showing a bit more now because the very structural framework is under question. Of false nine, the striker, they're two different things, they're two different aspects. So I actually think that we have to be a bit patient with this team. Bayaji says 0 shots on target. Worst performance of the season. That Alvarez one was the closest. I think Bayaji, it hit the post. I mean, one positive we can take from this is worst performance of the season in this competition. Luckily, we didn't have it in the Champions League, so or or in the Premier League. So that is something which we can take, but no, I don't. Cancelo has not been at his best at all. Foden in the midfield role did not work. Calvin Phillips in that CDM role, it showed he's not yet on that level. He's not yet ready for it. And also Southampton. See, it's again the same problem, Bayaji. It's the problem that we discussed the last time as well when we were winning against Chelsea. We discussed it when we were playing a shit first half against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We discussed it. The problem is lack of an out and out winger, teams parking the bus. It didn't seem like that, but Southampton literally parked the bus today. Okay, they had a few forwards ahead, but they literally parked the bus with Romeo Lavia straight on to Calvin Phillips. So when teams are literally having a banks of 4 or 5 back, they are defending narrow. You don't have a winger, out and out winger. Mahrez didn't play today. So that means Grealish, whoever you put on the other side, Palmer, both are inside forwards. They're not wingers, could not do anything. I think a winger is the solution there, an out and out winger. Rafael Leao probably or someone else, but an out and out winger because narrow defenses, you have inside forwards. It's almost like you're inviting them home to defend. I'm here, please defend me. There's no element of surprise in the attack when you have only inside forwards and you don't have a winger. High probability trading says yes, we still have a chance in 2 to 3 competitions. Grealish and Mahrez Kanat's better. Foden is not at his best at the moment. Couple of players are not at their best. Foden is not at his best. Ken Shallow is not at his best. Calvin Phillips, okay, he's coming into the team. I won't say much about him. For even Gundogan looked a bit off today. I mean, it's just been it's not been a good performance. Walker also for a bit. I know Pep's played him in an unfamiliar role, but for the first goal, Walker has to do better. And but again, he's not a centre back, so I won't blame him. But for the first goal, if you see the forward just drifts past, he goes across Walker, and when you're a centre back, you can never let that happen. You can never let your man run across you. That can never happen actually. So there were a couple of mistakes today from the players. There's a penalty shootout going on for Wolves actually. So Nottingham Forest go through on penalties. Bayaji says, leave Cancelo in Southampton, doesn't deserve a place even on the bench. You're actually judicious, Bayaji. You're telling doesn't deserve a place on the bench. He bloody doesn't deserve a place on the bus back home from Southampton to Manchester. He has been absolutely dreadful. If you check the passing stats of Joao Cancelo, leave 0 shots on target. For me, I think Joao Cancelo has 0. His passing accuracy should be somewhere close to 0. That's how shit Joao Cancelo has been. I mean, how can you go from being a world class fullback, a left back who is top 2 3 in the world actually to someone who can't even cross well. Some of the crosses from Cancelo at the end, if it was Cancelo at his best, we would have equalized 2-2. Cancelo got some brilliant chances for crossing at the end. He just doesn't do anything. Cancelo out of form. Foden out of form. I mean, I don't know what Pep can do from here actually. Grealish is certainly not working. Not Grealish fall, but Grealish is certainly not working. Football Critics off game happened every season. We have lucky we had before United game. That is the positive football critics at this moment. Among all the negativity, that is one positivity we can actually take. But my concern here is, I've been repeating it quite a while in the stream, but my concern here is not just an off game, but we are having off halves of football. Stamford Bridge, we had an off half. Crystal Palace, the first half was shit. Everton, the second half was shit. Brentford, the second half was shit. So literally, I think this season 4 or 5 games you can count where the halves have not been good at all. That Liverpool side, how did we lose 3 points to this Liverpool side? Cancelo's mistake. 3 points. You add the 3 points, and we are almost equal to the leaders Arsenal, just 2 points difference. So How did we not beat that Liverpool side? Still don't know. How did we draw to that Everton side? It's a ridiculous sort of a record. You lose with Everton, draw with Everton. It seems like a loss. Who are at the bottom of the table now? You lose with Southampton, who are at the bottom of the table. So I mean, do not know what to say. A football fixes window is still open. Just get some winger on what basis? We so much money still don't buy any winger. Football critics news is that Rafael Leao is actually being lined up. News is that City might consider Saka or Rafinha, but I don't believe the Saka rumors. So the Rafinha rumors are actually they actually seem quite good because Rafinha was not accepting a contract from AC Milan. So I actually think we're still adjusting to Haaland and his structure, and I think to complete that adjustment to Haaland, you need a Rafinha there. Just imagine Haaland, a pacey winger who can just bomb up and down the flanks. Just imagine, and then on the left you can keep an inside forward whoever it can be, Grealish, Mahrez, or whoever it can be. So I actually think in this adjustment to Haaland, we are sorely lacking a winger. Unless we get the winger, these problems will not be solved. Unless we get the winger, teams will just keep on parking the bus against us and cannot do anything. Football critics says we should have signed Joao Felix on loan rather than him going to Chelsea. But again, football critics signing Joao Felix on loan again, it I mean it doesn't solve the problem, right? Because Joao Felix is a similar kind of a player to your Jack Grealish, to your Riyad Mahrez. I mean, similar player in the sense of cutting inside. And with Haaland in, there's no question of playing false nine, right? So again, that doesn't solve the problem. To solve I was just thinking, it's a random thought. Raheem Sterling would have done exceptionally well in this team with Erling Haaland because he does everything except finishing. And now we need a winger who can provide to Erling Haaland, who can drag defenses out, and Raheem Sterling does exactly that. So we need a winger with more of an end product than a Raheem Sterling. I think that is what we actually need. That is the requirement. Bulkit says Bernardo Silva is so much required in this team. I can see today. You can just see how the midfield struggled today. Football Greeks without Bernardo Silva, we just weren't able to get hold of the ball. I mean, I was just wondering if the midfield in that first half was Rodri, Bernardo, and Gundogan. How the hell would Southampton have been able to get hold of the ball in such a way? It would have been impossible. So I think this. I mean, people could say this is the worst performance of the season, but I do agree with it, by the way. But I also think this is one of the worst midfields. Calvin Phillips, Foden, and Gundogan just don't work together. Foden can't control the tempo of the game. Calvin Phillips can't. He literally Calvin Phillips is not up to it. So and Gundogan then is isolated on his own. Well, he can't do anything much. So I think the midfield played today is one of the weakest midfields I think we have played all the season long, and on top of that, they were man marking Calvin Phillips, which means you had only two outlets. You could either go to Cancelo or Gomez. Gomez did well, but when you went to Cancelo, Cancelo was just giving the ball away all the time. Is he in the first minute itself, in the first second itself, forget first minute, Cancelo gave the ball away. So that literally meant that you were only giving the ball to Sergio Gomez, and that means that you are playing into Southampton's hands. They were just pressing that area of Gomez. They let Gomez receive the ball, they're pressing him, they're pressing him. Bayaji says offer Cancelo to Bayern for Leroy. Would love to see Leroy Sané in this team, Bayaji. If Leroy Sané is here, no one's stopping us at all this season. Just imagine Leroy Sané on one side, Erling Haaland. Even we put a Riyad Mahrez on the right, doesn't matter. It's just that's just sumptuous. It's just memories of the 2017 season. Leroy Sané. Football creatures Bernardo Silva is running up and down. His work rate can be seen. Not only his work rate, but when an opposition presses you, who is the player who can counter press? Bernardo Silva is that player who can counter press. And other thing that was absent today was the counter pressing ability. Probably, yes, Julian Alvarez was counter pressing a bit, but apart from Julian Alvarez, there was no one who was counter pressing. Against Chelsea, the difference in the FA Cup was Alvarez and Bernardo were counter pressing. And I think when you leave a midfielder like Calvin Phillips isolated without having someone counter pressing, it just makes you feel vulnerable. Southampton were able to they were able to play balls at ease, actually lift their heads up and play balls, which told me that they were having time. They're having so much time. We were not pressing well. So we miss Bernardo Silva a lot. I think we miss the combination basically. I think Rodri, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne. So out of these four at all times, if you have to win three, you have to play. Can rotate by giving rest to one. So I actually think seeing this, even a Jude Bellingham signing seems necessary next summer. Sorry, this summer. Football Creek says Calvin Phillips, I can understand it's his first game. He needs time. He needs a lot of time. He has just not understood the system at all, Football Creeks. High probable trading says City is not signing in this January window. They might go for Jude Bellingham in the summer. I hope they signed Rafael Leao, but I know the Rafael Leao deal cannot take place in this January. There comes the question again. I was having this discussion on this channel the last time as well. When we were struggling at Stamford Bridge. Now, when we're struggling at Everton, how do you break a part of a team down? How do you break a team that defends narrow down with this lineup we have with Grealish and Mahrez we have? I honestly do not know the answer still. That is my worry. My worry is not that we bloody have lost 2-0 in this competition. That is not my worry actually. My worry is how do you break a two banks of four down with two forwards attacking, defending narrow. We do not have players to break that down. That was a problem for Pep in 2016, 2017 when he came, and it's again the problem has returned again. Football Crick says, I really don't understand. Cancelo is working so well at left back. Why does Pep needs to change this? I mean, it's not that he was working that well at left back. They were already Ching shown before the World Cup as well. Remember the Liverpool game, his mistake, the game before that as well. So Cancelo was sort of he was good. He took a red card. I think that Fulham game. So you could actually see Cancelo drifting out of form and in form. The form didn't explode, but now and in the World Cup also Cancelo was not that good. And now actually after the World Cup, you suddenly saw that Cancelo's confidence is gone and he exploded. So the signs were actually there at the starting of the season as well. Cancelo was going up and down of form, and so so I think that is where Pep is actually trying him in different positions. That's all. Bayaji says both strikers on the pitch and still sideways backwards passes wouldn't have scored in another 90 minutes of the game. Again, Bayaji, the problem is not with the two strikers. The problem is with the width. The fundamental principle with which a Pep Guardiola team operates is width. And what have we seen against Everton? What have we seen here? What have we seen against Chelsea, Stamford Bridge? No width. What have we seen against Brentford? No width. Lack of width is just showing. Without width, I don't think any manager can do anything because they will park the bus. They will actually park the bus, the opponents, and you cannot uh, do anything. You could have 10 Haalands over there and still you'll not score a goal because there's no element of surprise there. Aston last season, remember in the title against Aston Villa, the title-winning game where we made a comeback, we were struggling, right? The first half we were struggling. Aston Villa were 2-0 up. What changed in that game, guys? What changed in that game? The introduction of Raheem Sterling and Zinchenko. what did Raheem Sterling bring, which we did not have? I think Mahrez started that game. I don't remember, but both were inside forwards whoever started that game. And with Raheem Sterling, we got width, we got pace. Aston Villa in that game, who were defending narrow for 70 minutes, they suddenly their fullback Matty Cash had to go out to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling pings a ball in. Gundogan scores the first goal. Raheem Sterling drags Matty Cash out, creates space for Kevin De Bruyne for the third goal. So suddenly you see the importance of a fast, explosive winger. It suddenly puts doubts in the minds of the defenses. They can't defend narrow with a fast, explosive winger. Aston Villa game is an example for why a winger is necessary to against Parthabas teams. Football Kid says James McAtee is balling with Sheffield and we loaned him. I remember this DM coming from Argentina. What's his name? Yes, Maximo Perron. He's the one I'm looking forward to, but he will apparently be loaned actually. Uh, this season, even if we complete the deal, he's just 19, I think. Football pitches Lavia seems injury prone. Actually, that's the reason I think City sold him. But I was actually sad when City sold Romeo Lavia. There was something the academy coaches back then said about Romeo Lavia. They said I mean, it was a renowned academy coach that I think he played in the midfield himself. I think what he said was he hasn't seen in the last 5-10 years, whatever he's been working in City's academy, he hasn't seen a player at such a young age having such a great vision in the midfield. He described Romeo Lavia in one word. He said Romeo Lavia is unpressable. I was convinced. I thought Romeo Lavia is the heir to Fernandino's throne. So, but he's unpressable. It's nigh on impossible to press Romeo Lavia. I think Calvin Phillips has been bought in for different reasons. Calvin Phillips has been bought in because he's is much more dynamic than Rodri. He can cover the length of the pitch, and due to switching, uh, Calvin Phillips' switch is excellent. His against Chelsea in the FA Cup, I think we have seen his switch. So Calvin Phillips' switch of the ball from one end is excellent. So Calvin Phillips has been bought in for different reasons actually. Football Tricks is was literally seeing Barca or Spain doing the same thing. Why don't we shoot? I think Alvarez had one shot, but again, our midfielders were struggling to connect. Actually, I mean, there was a struggle from the defense to get to the midfield, and I think from the midfield to the forwards, I think in that sort of in the second half, in the first 6 minutes, the connection was good. After that, there was no connection. I think from the midfield to our attackers, we struggled to pick the gaps today. Bayaji says Pep gestured width from touchline. That's why Cancelo was playing. Then why Cancelo is playing inverted in the first half? Bayaji, the problem there was they were man marking Calvin Phillips there. That's when the first half you saw uh, how many passes that Laporte gave and Kyle Walker gave were being intercepted. So the opposition striker, Southampton striker, was man marking Calvin Phillips, which means how do you play the ball? So to even the numbers out in the midfield, that's where Cancelo came into the midfield as an inverted fullback actually. So that's another option to pass the ball. Pep actually did this after the 2017 season, and the Wolves manager did the same thing. After that, whenever an opposition manager did that, our fullback would invert and that tactic would not work. But since Cancelo was so bad, Southampton could just carry on with the tactic the whole game. I bet if Rico Lewis played in this game, Southampton don't win this. I'm very sure of that. If Rico Lewis played, Cancelo was just awful at ball retention, at ball passing, at nothing. Now I think we all know why Pep is preferring Rico Lewis over a Cancelo or even a Walker. High probability trading says there's a big worry when Manu, Liverpool, Chelsea, and other big clubs are signing players in January window, even if it is as a backup. We need to sign as well a winger and cam, but the cam and the winger which we want are only available in the summer. See, the situation at City is I know we are out of form a bit, and the players are also 16 players have gone to the World Cup. So actually, there's bound to be a bit of that. I won't say laziness, a bit of lethargy there. But I think to get into the City team, are there any midfielders or wingers available? I don't think. I think we are going for Jude Bellingham and Rafinha, and I think both are available in the summer transfer window. Again, like I was saying in the beginning, I think we need to be a bit more patient this season, because it's not what is seeming on the outside. It is not the same. Like Haaland has 21 goals and is going to run away. That he can do. He might score 40 goals, but we are still in a transition this season. We are adjusting to what playing with a striker is like. So I won't be surprised if we'll get more results like this actually. So I think we must be a bit more patient with the club. And the beauty of City is that, unlike a Chelsea, unlike a Arsenal, unlike a United, they don't let fans go through the pain of transition. We transition so smoothly that once it's over, fans realize the greatness of it. Okay, Dino went and Rodri came in, and we didn't even realize that. Wow, we reached the Champions League final that year. Aguero went and we have won titles without a striker, and Haaland came in this transition. No pain. Aguero went, still we didn't stop winning titles. So actually think the transition is actually smoother by City, and we need to applaud the club for that and be a little bit patient, because Pep doesn't have that winger tool this season to make sure that we are much more fluid. Again, this brings me with the thought that Raheem Sterling had Raheem, if Raheem Sterling would have stayed, I think it might have been better for him and better for us also, because of all the negative points of Raheem Sterling, the best thing Raheem Sterling does is drag people out of position. Out of position, his runs are superb. Okay, he can't finish, but apart from that, the way he keeps the ball, the way his assess, everything about the all round game of Raheem Sterling is good. The defensive work and everything. So his skilly is fast. So that was something. Did we get it wrong? I do not know still. Football Creek says, I think we need to buy Zinchenko back. He was the left back which leads to UCL final. If we need to buy, if we need left back, go buy Zinchenko back. I think we are past Zinchenko style left backs. Football Creeks, we are past that. I think if you need to buy a left back, you're potentially looking at someone like a not maybe a Theo Hernandez. I know he won't come, but left backs of that ilk actually. You're not looking at a midfielder turn left back now. We are looking at a proper left back now. So I actually think uh, we have moved on past Zinchenko and those kind of left backs now. Baya, this is why experiment. Pep will what experiment Pep will come up versus United. They're actually taking the draw, and it's so painful to see. It's Southampton versus, which means, oh, it's Southampton versus Newcastle, which means we would have probably got Newcastle, and it's United versus Forest probably. So we probably would have got Newcastle. That's fine. I actually wanted to play United in twice actually in the semi final. So that's actually fine. Don't fancy playing Newcastle twice. They're a defensive team. It could actually get boring. The experiments by Ajin in the Manchester derby. I think I'm pretty sure that Rico Lewis will play and Rico Lewis will cut inside. It's going to be a tactical battle. Ten Hag. But I think will both the managers will look to get hold of the midfield actually. So that's going to be an interesting tussle. But Pep will surely play Rico Lewis. Pep will surely play Akanji, but again, this is the question. If Pep plays Rico Lewis, where will he play Kyle Walker? Because Marcus Rashford and Kyle Walker has to play. I'm not getting this. And Rico Lewis has to play in terms of, he's been one of our best players since the World Cup actually. He's been revelation this season. So don't know that thing. How will he play both? I do not want to see Walker playing at centre back which he will not, I think, in the derby. But midfield needs to be for me Rodri, Bernardo Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne probably. I think the experimentation could actually be Rico Lewis playing and no Kyle Walker. That could be it. Or maybe Pep can play a three-stroke four. He could play like he did in the first half against Chelsea at the Stamford Bridge. He could play a Rico Lewis, and then he could play uh, three centre backs. The left back turns Ake at left back, and Ake comes into a back three, and Rodri occasionally drops into the back four, and auxiliary CDM slash centre back, which is Rodri's role. That could be an experiment. My God, thinking about the experiments Pep can do, it's just, I think it's beyond my imagination. A guy who can dare to play without a CDM. I mean, I still remember, I know guys, it hurts, but how did we lose the Champions League final to Chelsea? That Chelsea side wasn't as good. If he played a CDM, probably we would have won that. I don't know. Football critics, I have this weird feeling we are going after Rice, Declan Rice, bad football critics. Calvin Phillips, Rodri, Jude Bellingham will be the favorite to, will be a first priority. So I don't think there's place for Declan Rice actually. James McAtee is coming back from loan, and there's someone called as an Oscar Bob in the academy. Oscar Bob is very good. I don't know why Pep doesn't look at Carlos Borges from the academy and even Mbuda. Both of them remind me of Sterling Sane partnership. Carlos Borges, especially, is very pacey. He's very skiddy. I don't know why Pep doesn't uh, look into him, give him a chance. Football pitches again, we are lacking leaders to step up like always. I don't think it's just the lack of leadership football creates, it's also that transition that we have been talking about. It's also a kind of a transition in leadership as well. I know it has happened, but it's still going on, I would say. And also not just leadership, it's a transition in terms of, it's a transition in terms of strategies, tactics. Pep is experimenting something. I think I have a weird feeling that Pep wants to go for a three at the back. He tried to experiment this in 2017 season. If you remember, Mendy got injured then. I think against Liverpool, both uh, Mane puts that high foot on Ederson in the 2017 season and he gets sent off. And both Jesus and Aguero play with thrashed Liverpool final. In that game, Pep played a back three. In his last days at Barcelona, Pep tried a back three. So I think Pep wants to try a back three with this team. I think that is where we actually might be going. That could be the next tactical revolution that tactical ideas, new tactical ideas that Pep might actually bring. Selling Zinchenko without signing Cucurella was the worst decision. Left back has been one of the weakest areas this season. That's why Pep is experimenting a lot at left back. But Pep wouldn't have known that, right? Because you already had Cancelo. Cancelo had a stellar season, at least a stellar last 2-3 seasons, where he's been in the top two, top three left backs of the world. So you already have a left back who's assured in Cancelo. And and I think Pep won 4 out of 5 Premier League titles without. Pep won 4 Premier League titles in the last 5 years without a recognized left back, right? We won the Centurions title with Fabian Delph, and then Delph was injured next season. And next 2 seasons, I think we won it with just Zinchenko or someone playing temporarily there. And Fernandino was playing sometimes over there at left back. So I think Pep has that confidence. If someone can win 4 of last 5 Premier League titles without a recognized left back, so I think that was actually not an issue. But I do think with Cucurella we would have got. I think with Cucurella we would have actually got that width, that crossing a left-footed crosser who would go on the outside. I think with Cucurella we would have got help to Jack Grealish because Jack Grealish always looks very good when he plays with a fullback who's overlapping. That would mean that you can't double up on Jack Grealish, right? So I think this system is actually the system that Pep is putting right now is actually too rigid to play out of. See, you don't have fullbacks offering width. You have fullbacks tucked inside. You have Jack. Then how do your wingers go inside? If both your fullbacks are tucked inside, that actually means that both your wingers are both your wingers can be doubled up by the opposition fullbacks, right? So actually, I think it's I think for a team to score goals with this system, inverted fullbacks, inverted wingers, everything inverted. I think to score goals in the system, you have to be tight, picture perfect. De Bruyne has to do those thread the needle passes every time, each time. So I'll be interested to know. It will be intriguing to see what Pep will do for the Manchester derby and for the other games. We have 7 fixtures coming up, which are against I think Spurs twice, Arsenal once. We have the Manchester derby, so it's going to be a tough run of fixtures. Football creatures, we are looking at Furlan Mendy. Actually, yes, we are looking at Furlan Mendy. I also heard the news, but Furlan Mendy is, I would say, I wouldn't say Furlan Mendy is the best attacking signing, but defensively is very good. But then, are we getting something more than Natanake from Furlan Mendy? I don't think so, probably. Football creatures Rico Lewis has stopped Salah. He can do that against Rashford. I think that's the hope. Actually, that's the hope. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Walker doesn't start and Rico Lewis starts actually tomorrow. I mean in the derby. Football critics Wilson as brand should have been given the chance. I think Wilson as brand, if you look at the preseason, the way Pep was playing Wilson as brand there and the way Grealish was adjusting to him, I think he would have been given a chance. But then suddenly Pep, shifted into this inverted fullback system, trying to create attacking patterns for Haaland and everything. Once Pep started this inverted fullback thing, I don't think Wilson Esbrand actually stood a chance because Wilson Esbrand's strength is going up and down, right? Overlapping. He's is not good enough to invert and keep hold of the ball like a Rico Lewis does. That is a specialized job, so I think that's why. And Wilson Esbrand has gone on loan also, I think, to a championship side. Football critics, I think mistake we made today was Foden should have played it left wing and Grealish should have played cam role exactly. Football critics, that's what I was thinking. Foden should have played left wing and because after Bernardo Silva, I think Jack Grealish is the one who could have controlled the tempo of the game. He takes a lot of fouls. The moment Jack Grealish came into the center in the first half, he got fouled once or twice. So I actually think he could have slowed the tempo of the game down. And Jack Grealish to the midfield is a different beast. He can go both ways. He's an excellent dribbler. You can't get near him easily. So I think that's a mistake which Pep surely made. I don't know why Pep persists with playing Jack Grealish in the left wing. Don't know. And why is playing Foden in the middle? I don't know because Foden and Haaland seem to have stuck a wonderful, chord with each other, and suddenly he plays Foden in the midfield. Don't know what's running inside Pep's mind. Football critics, every club gave new manager pounds, and then there's Pep who has contract extension. Overthinking that is Pep Guardiola for you in a nutshell. But then I think it is this overthinking, it is this madness of tweaking with things, even though they are working. I think that is why we have won 4 out of the last 5 Premier League titles. That is when we have won. That is why we have won 4 Carabao Cups in a row from 2017 to 21. So I think it is this madness that has made City a team which plays so fluid football. So I think with Pep, I think you'll have to if you want him, I think you also have to accept his madness actually. Anyway, guys, not the result we were looking for, but probably if you look at the priority of competitions this season on our list, Carabao Cup would be the last, especially due to the fixture list combustion and fixture list congestion and a lot of things. So actually, I think now with us going out, I think we have 1 full week to prepare for Arsenal before the FA Cup game against Arsenal. I think so. Look at the positives of it. Bayaji says Pep wanted to work on new things in Derby. I hope he buries that thought forever after tonight. But Bayaji, if he buries that thought, he will not be Pep. Pep is Pep. Pep can experiment. Pep experiments in the Champions League finals and all, and does all of the crazy things there. I mean, for someone who played Yaya Toure at centre back when Barcelona against United Champions League final, if he can play Yaya Toure at centre back, then then I think he can do anything, anywhere, on any occasion. That occasion doesn't bother him. His madness of football, his curiosity to try out new things, his curiosity to think about things that probably normal managers wouldn't even dare to venture out. I think that is what has made this persona of Pep Guardiola more than anything else. And if Pep Guardiola as a manager was afraid of losses like this, he wouldn't have tried it in the first place. And if he wouldn't have tried it in the first place, he wouldn't be Pep Guardiola in the first place. So I expect some new things in the derby as well. Then Pep is looking for something which is not finding actually. Pep is looking for the control in games. I mean, one thing which I'm noticing with City actually is that we are not able to control games like we have done in the past. I mean, I come right from Brentford, Everton, again that Liverpool game. I mean, there are at least Crystal Palace in the first half. There are 4, 5 games, 6 games this season where we just look. Newcastle game. I mean, you go 1-0 up, and how do you concede 3 goals there? We are just not able to control the tempo of the game, which we used to do earlier. Last season, I mean, in from 2017 to last season, City used to control. Even when City were just 1-0 up, there used to be that confidence. We used to control games with just our passing. Defenders didn't be involved. Just the passing, the ball around, the passing lanes, and all of those things. We used to control the game. But now you're 1-0 up. Even if you're 2-0 up, you suddenly Leeds, for example. We went 2-0 up, and then Leeds score a goal, and then Leeds nearly had a chance. I think Gelhardt just put it wide. Otherwise, it could have been 2-2 or something like that. And then we go on and score another goal. So you see, even if you're 2-0 up, you're not able to show control in the games. I think Pep is looking for that control in the games. I know that control is relinquished because for lack of false nine, but but that is where Pep is trying to find the sweet spot with a striker. How do I still have that amount of control, and the consequences of that is, and the impact of that is bringing your fullbacks infield to outnumber the midfield, because midfield is where the control is. Football critic says, I wonder he's gonna get sacking thing if result doesn't go in our favor. No one dare even talk about that word to Pep. I think the word sack, because you don't sack a manager who wins 4 Premier League titles. You don't sack him. Football kid says, well, Yaya Toure is back. He was back in the Champions League and he lifted our ball. Hopefully, he lifted the curse. High probability trading says he should start Mahrez, Haaland, and Grealish. Gundogan, De Bruyne, Silva midfield. No. High probability trading. Gundogan, De Bruyne, Silva midfield. No. That midfield actually brings shivers down, shivers down our spine, right? Because where did Pep Guardiola use that midfield, uh, which you just mentioned, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Silva? He used it in the Champions League final against Chelsea, which we lost. Vishal says, what do you think will be the result in the weekend? I know, Vishal, you're actually having you had your eyes firmly on the Chelsea match, and you'll be having your eyes here. I think I don't know actually which city will turn up. It's been a long time since I've said this, but derbies generally have been this way. Even in the previous season, I mean, not previous season, but generally seasons before that, derbies have been like we win at United's home and they win at our home. But this season we have won at our home. So derbies are actually quite unpredictable. They say form goes out of the window in the derby, and Vishal, you would not be happy to hear this, right? Because form goes out of the window in the derby, because Arsenal are gonna play Spurs the weekend, and the advantage for you is it's gonna be after we play. I think it's on Sunday and we play on a Saturday. So I mean, if you have to win titles, you have to win matches like this. The derby against United, the entire month is gonna be stressful for us. Not just the derby. Once the derby goes, I think we have Spurs, Wolves, Spurs. And then I think we have Arsenal in the FA Cup. So the entire month is jam packed with tense fixtures, one game at a time. That's all I think. Football critics, I feel each and every player needs battering or scolding now. But football critics, partly I think it's also on Pep, right? With the formations he's putting out, with the tactical instructions he's giving the players. I mean, just imagine what can Jack Grealish do when he's been doubled upon. He can dribble, but if the opposition winger and their fullback doubles upon you, how do you dribble? There's no outlet for you. What can Jack Grealish do? Same thing on the opposite wing. What can they do when you tell your fullbacks to tuck inside? What can they do if that is the instruction? They can't do anything, right? We don't have shots on target. We don't have shots on target. That is true. But when Pep puts out a structure like this, you need a Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi in their prime to get your goals every time. If there's no fullback overlapping, there are no outlets, there's no fluidity. So I think I won't blame the players fully, but partly players and partly Pep also has to take blame here. I would say 50%, 60% Pep has to take the blame. Football kid says Yaya Toure curse, and Yaya Toure removed curse for this year. Hopefully, hands crossed when we play against Leipzig. Charles says United is in pretty good form. Can't ignore that fact. Can't ignore any fact, Vishal. But in a derby, in a Manchester derby, that we thrashed them 6-3 last time. They will be out for revenge. So in a derby, form goes out of the window. Form absolutely goes out of the window in a derby. So that's my only thing actually. That form goes out of the window in the derby, and this is not our first team actually. First team in the sense, especially in the first half. Not reading start, so it's almost a second. Except Gundogan, probably it's a second string midfield that has started. So and defense as well. Walker, Laporte. I would say Gomez. I would say we have played with a second string defense and a second string attack. I mean combination. I'm saying almost. So I mean second string defense and a second string midfield. So for the derby, I think you'll definitely see improvement for the derby for passing and everything. Vishal says it's the same for us. These next few weeks will decide the season for both City and Arsenal. We also have NLD. I mean, I wouldn't say the next few games will decide the season for City and Arsenal because this season is gonna be different. I think okay, teams are getting into form. For example, Arsenal is in good form now. United is in good form now, and also judging United's good form. Just look at the last four teams which United have played. All of them pretty much are in the bottom half of the table. I mean, I can't complain about that, especially we have lost to. I mean, we have dropped points against Everton, so I can't complain about that. But you look at the fixtures that United have faced, and you pretty much see that the real deal is to come for United. And this season, I think, due to the World Cup, the fixture pile up and everything, I think it's going to be a long, grueling marathon. What people are not realizing is the season is just 17 matches old and the season is just 18 matches old. And okay, at the end of the month, the season will be 22 matches old, 23 matches old. So it's nearly, we have another half of the season, 15 more matches to go, and Premier League titles are a marathon and not a race. So I think this season the team that will be winning the Premier League will be peaking at the right time. I think will be peaking at the right time and will be having those big runs. Can Arsenal maintain this momentum once the Europa League kicks in? I mean, a lot of questions are there. How long can Arsenal play in this at the same level? A lot of questions. What will happen if injuries strike Arsenal? What will happen if a Martinelli gets injured? A lot of questions there. What will happen if something happens to Odegaard? A lot of questions. It's the same thing for us. What will happen if a KDB something happens to KDB? So a lot of questions, and the season is going to be different. I think it's going to be grueling, hard, and different. High probability trading says last derby. last derby, which we won 6-3, was different. Ten Hag just started. Now they're working in a system which looks solid. It's not a system actually. It's a counter-attacking system with Rashford playing there. Rashford scoring goals in the counters and stuff. It's not Ten Hag's system, so it still is working. He needs players there to actually go. So Ten Hag needs more time, but he's actually getting results. But the difference will be in the last derby, Casemiro didn't start, and this derby, Casemiro is starting, which suddenly means the midfield duel becomes that much more tougher. I think that's another reason why he didn't play Bernardo Silva today. So and he brought on Kevin De Bruyne in the second half. He wants to have that matchup, Bernardo Silva against Casemiro and stuff like that. Football Kid says, what did he say in the interview? Who? Pep? Pep said in the interview that he might try some ridiculous tactics against. Okay, today's interview. No, I didn't watch today's interview. I didn't watch today's interview. What he actually said, and they didn't even show it. The interview, at least here. Vishal says you can only beat who's in front of you. Also, you just lost against bottom of the PL, so you can't complain about who United beat. No, I'm not telling about who United beat, but what I'm telling about is this season is going to be absolutely long. So you can't say that you won the last five fixtures and you'll be and top four is confirmed for you and stuff like that. I mean, Chelsea fans are actually like they can't get top four. Well, actually, theoretically speaking, they can get top four actually if they can revive the season from now on. So anything is possible in this season because there'll be a lot of tired legs, tired minds. How do tired legs and tired minds function under pressure? A lot of things, a lot of aspects will come actually. So and anyway, by losing this game, we have reduced three fixtures of our fixture list, which means we now have the same amount of fixtures as Arsenal. So and we are facing them in the FA Cup. So what would have happened is the Carabao Cup semi-final was in midweek and the game with Arsenal was on the weekend. So we would have only had 3 days to prepare. But now we have an entire week to prepare for the FA Cup game against Arsenal. So few positives coming out of this game. Bulkhead says, I really miss Diaz so much. I know he himself has been shaky, but Diaz brings different vibes. He brings the vibes of leadership. Football picks more than anything else. Diaz is he actually commands the midfield in front of him as well. So he's been shaky, but he brings that leadership, that company sort of a thing. Not at that level, but he brings that company sort of a thing. Actually, Ruben Diaz, how much we have been missing him. Chelsea's Modric deal will be finalized soon. We also have Smith throwback, and not to forget, he's the one that kick-started this process for us. Modric deal will be interesting. You have to you have to get players in Vishal, otherwise Arsenal might actually. The depth is just not there, so you have to get players. You have to get players back just to cover for injury. Not three, but two semi-finals and final. No, actually, in the Carabao Cup, there are two legs of semi-finals. So, two semi-final legs and then a final leg. So, three fixtures. But winning even these competitions helps in growing their confidence. It does high probability trading. It does helps in growing their confidence. But again, like I said, in a normal season, generally it would do because you sort of win this at the end of Feb or so, and then the momentum of title race kicks in. But this season, everything is so congested. There's just no space to breathe actually. So I actually think this season is different. Momentum, the definition of momentum will be different this season because you'll just be playing matches after matches after matches. So there'll be no time for you to rest. The legs will be tired and stuff like that. I mean, I think probably this is a relief. We must say that destiny has given us to get through this grueling season. That's what we must say to accept the positives from this. Uh, No football critics. I don't know Pep Guardiola. They have actually interviewed the Southampton manager and they are interviewing Ilkay Gundogan now. So I haven't seen Pep Guardiola being interviewed, and Ilkay Gundogan is just his usual self is talking now. And Vishal says, nice evening for non-City fans. Good luck to United for the weekend. I mean, Carabao Cup, it's fine. Arsenal were knocked out a lot earlier in the Carabao Cup, right? And all the Arsenal fans were saying it's good. We don't care about this cup. But when it comes to City, I mean, I've seen this even United fans when it comes to Carabao Cup, they're like, oh, it's just a Poundland trophy. But the moment United go into later stages, the Carabao Cup suddenly becomes important. I agree with you. Season is very tight. That's why I wish we sign at least one winger somehow in this window. So fresh legs and options, which we often complain that we have limited options. But I do hope we sign someone, but that's against the policy of us, right? We generally don't sign someone in the winter transfer window. I mean, even if we sign, I know we signed Julian Alvarez, but we gave him back on loan and he only joined us in the summer. So generally, there's no history of the. It's we don't have as much of a history of getting in big players in the January transfer window. But yeah, you're right. After this performance, I think if we can do I don't know how, but if we can do a deal for Rafael Leao, there would not be anything like that. That's the impetus that we actually need in this title race. Football Kid says, I won't be surprised. We might be reactive now and sign someone. Remember the way we signed Diaz and Laporte, like being reactive. Exactly, Football Kids. I want if they're showing our next seven fixtures. It's United, Spurs, Wolves, Arsenal, FA Cup, Spurs again, Aston Villa, and then Arsenal again. So I think in the middle of this tough fixture list, I think we could have done with having this, not having these two semi-finals. So yeah, like I said, I think a deal for Rafael Leao. I think what I do not want is a stopgap player to come. Player I know our board doesn't do signings like that, but I hope we don't sign someone in desperation. So that's the only thing, and we go after Leo. But the problem is we want Leo or we want Saka as an alternative. Some articles came, and neither of their players, definitely not Saka, and even Rafael Leao will not come from AC Milan at this point of time. Both are players who can only come in the summer transfer window. So I actually think that we have to sign a winger. I think Carlos Borges. I think Pep needs to give Carlos Borges more time. I think Carlos Borges could actually be the difference maker, and one good positive thing is Riyad Mahrez is in form for us. That is actually good. Riyad Mahrez in the derby will be very interesting. Bayaji says, I wonder how Pep convinces players to change in formation or position every other game, as now it's not restricted to just Champions League games. Bayaji, I think it's Pep Guardiola, they say one of the greatest tacticians ever in the game. And when one of the great tactical minds in the game speaks, you just follow what he says. You just trust him, you just trust the process, and you follow what he says. Because if you do not follow, you'll not be in the team. Pep, because Pep is the boss, and everyone knows that the boss dictates what you do and how you do it. I think so. So that is why they actually follow whatever Pep says. It's just a trust on the manager. And how could you not trust someone who's won four out of the last five Premier League titles? So I think, and who's won four Carabao Cups, one FA. I mean, a lot of success, one FA Cup, lots of success. Football Creeks, I think Carabao Cup winner will be Newcastle. Hope it's Newcastle, Football Creeks. Hope it's Newcastle. The best thing would be Nottingham Forest knocking Manchester United out of the Carabao Cup. Yes, actually Pep Guardiola is speaking now. Now Pep Guardiola is speaking. He's having little smiles on his face and he's speaking now. But the best thing would be Forest knocking United out. I mean, I don't care whoever wins the Carabao Cup. It just should not be Manchester United. That's all. Football Kid says, in desperation, let's get Leo Messi. We all know how happy we'll be, and we will also know how sad will the rest of the league be. You get Leo Messi, and that's where you have 90% won the title. If you get Leo Messi, that's enough. That's enough. I think. But there was an article, interesting article in the Athletic, I think, about Leo Messi and the big contract City had prepared for him. How City had even planned to give Leo Messi some years after he retires from City at New York City FC and make Lionel Messi a club ambassador for life and things like that. It was a bumper contract, and it's sad that the contract didn't come to fruition actually. Would love Leo Messi in our side. I will never watch PSG match. Today also I watched only for him and so glad he scored. I mean, who watches PSG matches except for Leo Messi? I think a lot of people, lot of Barca fans who I know are watching PSG matches. A lot of fans of Messi are watching PSG matches just to see him play actually. But Leo Messi in our side, I mean, Leo Messi in our side, then I think Haaland would never have happened because Leo Messi can be the perfect false nine, or you could play Leo Messi as a cam now. But one signing that I think if we would have done, the side would be different is. I was thinking about it 2 3 days ago as well. Harry Kane. Just imagine Harry Kane in this team, and Harry Kane I think is the perfect combination of, and he's an excellent false nine and he's also an excellent striker. So Harry Kane in this team would just have been wonderful, right? Just imagine Harry Kane dropping into the midfield. And the thing is, Harry Kane, if Haaland drops into the midfield, it's not a criticism of Haaland, but if Haaland drops into the midfield, he cannot give passes like a De Bruyne, right? But Harry Kane dropping into the midfield can switch the play. He can give passes like a De Bruyne. He can do most of the things. So just imagine Kane dropping into the midfield, Kevin De Bruyne running through, and both of them exchanging positions. Harry Kane going out wide and giving passes and giving crosses in. I think Harry Kane. No wonder we went 140 million for Harry Kane, but that stupid Daniel Levy didn't sell. Harry Kane would just have been something else for this team, I think. Football Kid says the happiest man will be Pep. Exactly. I probability trading says I'm one of them, bro, fan of Barca, or I would say Leo, and it's a pleasure to watch him. Just just make sure that you knock Manchester United out in the Europa League. I think it's Barca versus United in the Europa League, right? So just make sure that you knock them out. Pepsi is Messi everywhere. So no doubt he would be happiest person on earth if Man City gets him. Agree because because framing these tactics around Messi is I think it's a little bit more flexible than, for example, asking a Haaland to do the job, because Haaland is an excellent striker but he has some limitations. Similarly, Alvarez probably has some limitations, but Messi, he doesn't have those limitations. He can play in a various tactical roles, I think. But I still think Pep saw Harry Kane as the closest to what he had done with Messi at Barca. He could replicate it at City by bringing in Harry Kane, playing in between the lines, that false nine, that pressing. Harry Kane would just have been the perfect false nine for Pep, I think, after what he had done with Leo Messi at Barca. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me here. City lost today, but let's take the positives out of it. In a tight season, 3 games less. So, if you would have given a choice to get knocked out in knockout competition, would be the Carabao Cup would be the first preference. Anyway, guys, see you all and take care. We'll take one more comment before we leave. Don't care much about Barca now, bro. They are not the same team. But Pedri, Gavi, and are players which are worth watching in Barca matches. The academy will always be producing gems, and that is what City are actually aiming to do. I mean, by the end of this decade, I'm sure that City will also have those kind of players coming out from the academy. You see, Rico Lewis is coming out now. Foden has come out. James McCarthy will be here, and Cole Palmer is there. So you're slowly seeing it, and it will accelerate even more and even more once. Uh, But by the end of this decade, I think City's academy will just be functioning full throttle. Anyway, guys, see you all and